Hello guys, welcome to this short video with me, Pierre from PAFX. I was thinking that I want to make a short video to you today ahead of the big news event and the rate hike we have later tonight during New York session, yeah? So yeah, the idea is to just give you a head up on where the market is and what to look for the news later today. So let's roll the disclaimer and please read it carefully and do understand the risk involved in trading. This session is not in any way a signal from my side. It's only how I see the market and the way I'm probably gonna trade it, yeah? So let's get started, and as usual we start always with the Dixie. So what happened so far this week? The Dixie did keep going higher in this leg to the upside and did reach the 94.15 area, where I do have my possible resistance level, as you see, and those of you who follow me and watch my weekly overview on Sundays know that we've been talking about this level. So the Dixie did reach this level, traded yesterday, reached the R2. We had a narrow pivot range yesterday, so it wasn't very surprising that we could reach R2 since the pivot range was a narrow one. But then get rejected below 94.15 area, and as you see, we still on the 4-hour making higher highs and higher lows. So this leg is still to the upside, but it is still an important resistant level. If we look left, we see that we had a lot of tests in this area, and it did act really at a good resistance. So actually today the most important thing to look at is not the rate hike itself. So the 1.50 is already priced in, and the market is expecting this rate hike, and it's probably also priced in the dollar that this rate hike gonna happen. What we should be looking for is the press conference at down here. Depends on what time zone you have, but this is gonna be the most important thing to look at, the press conference, and if we're gonna get any hint about how the Fed is thinking for next year, because it seems like the market is expecting 2 to 3 rate hikes for next year, starting the first one on June 2018, and we want to listen and see if we can get any hint if the Fed gonna keep that hawkish language, or if they have any change in the language toward dovish. I personally think that we may see buy rumors, sell news scenario today on the USD dollar, especially on the first release, and then later on the press conference, of course, we're gonna see some volatility. So be aware of that, and do not be surprised if you see that even though we're gonna get the height, do not be surprised if the dollar bounce to the downside, yeah, and maybe a spike up and another bounce to the downside. That's my scenario about what may happen. If we look at gold also, gold seems to be very oversold now after this correction and this impulse. We did break the 1260, which was an important support level. We are trading just below monthly S2, and it seems like this area here, looking left, we do not have much of support left, but it still is a good technical level to look at. and it seems to be extreme oversold on 4-hour and daily. But the 4-hour is showing a really nice bullish divergence, as you see, since this low here, the RSI start making higher lows, but the price kept pushing lower. So we do have a possible pattern here now. It seems like it could be a possible shoulder or head shoulder scenario. Of course, it's not complete yet, but it is an important level where the price is trading, where gold, sorry, is trading right now at 1240. And since I am also once again expecting a possible buy the rumors, sell the news scenario, I'm expecting a possible bounce on gold, at least a short term, to retest that 1260 area from here. Longer term, we do now have gold trading below this important support level, and it seems that there is more room to the downside. But for this week or today, I think we may see that bounce to the upside, and the same thing for USD, the opposite, that we may see some sell on the USD, but also long term seems like we may see more bullishness on the dollar. For the oil, we still trading now in above the monthly pivot point. We had nice 3 bullish days. We did a retest of this trend line, and now it's very, very important to see if we're gonna if oil gonna break the highs here to keep going higher, or if we're gonna see at least a retest toward the monthly S1, which is the most important level for now, actually for me. The 55 area gonna be the possible support area to try to buy from. I'm not gonna try to sell oil yet. That would not happen until I see a break below the 55, a retest, and then possibly I may think of a reversal scenario. But as for now, the trend still a bullish trend, and we may see some sideways till the end of the year on oil. Aussie Chief, we've been talking about this pair during Sunday's session, and that we actually on the weekly we did break below all these necklines, and that there is some room to the downside. But this week seems like Aussie had some good momentum and trying to push up again, but I still think that the monthly pivot point area here would be the possible level for another bounce to the downside. On the 4-hour, we are not going anywhere. We're still in a sideways move. It is a clear range. We want to see a break above this high for a possible continuation higher to really be sure. We want to see this. Otherwise, a break below this low may send us toward monthly S1, as I showed you on the daily, toward these levels. So as for now, it is in the middle of this range, and you probably want to wait for the price to reach at least this high to look for bearish evidence, or another bounce from this level. As for now, inside range, still could weigh either way, not very interesting level so far. Aussie USD had a good 3 days, two days, and today also did have a try to break yesterday highs. Couldn't do that, but if we look at the bigger picture, you see that we did reach this possible support at monthly S1, previous structure support and resistance. We did reach this possible trend line, and we did complete the ABCD pattern. I went long here, still holding some position and expecting at least a retest of these highs up here. So far today it seems like the market is going sideways, and that is normal for a day like this. I think the market gonna go in some kind of standby mode until the news later tonight. But as for now, it did show some kind of that the bulls trying at least. We had some good momentum here. We did break this possible resistance and now trading above that. I still not sure if we're gonna see the whole move yet, or any retest correction lower toward S1 level today, or this neckline would be a good level to try to take a buy from here, since we want to buy low and sell high. And this level here, if we look at the bigger picture, we are at a good buying level and a possible reversal area. Euro Aussie losing momentum all the way, making this possible head shoulder scenario here. On the 4 hour you see the structure much better. I am looking for a possible sell from the R1. That would be the best level to try. That would be a retest of this broken neckline of this double top, and would give us some room to the downside before we reach the trouble area, which is actually this level here. So any correction higher toward the daily R1 pivot point and this neckline would be a good level to try to go long. We do have probably some Fibonacci confluence, like check that. Yeah, that would be also the 61.8 at this area here. As for now, it looks very heavy, and but we never know. We may get any possibility for a spike to sell, to have a limit order somewhere up here. And as I said, that would give us some room to the downside before we reach this very important level that I'm looking at. I want to see this level broken, and if that happens, then we may see another retest higher toward the monthly pivot point, and the room to the downside is very big. As you see, we have a big potential move to the downside, so it is a good and big reward if this scenario goes as I am thinking, since yeah, you see we lost momentum, we start making lower lows and lower highs here, but we still want to see this support broken to be more sure. Yeah, EuroCAD, I was waiting, as I said in the Sunday session, for a retest inside this supply level. It didn't reach that level. It seems like the monthly pivot point is acting as good resistance so far. And you see this possible double top here. As for now, we did establish some kind of resistance here at the retest of this structure, and any retest of the monthly pivot point would be at least a short term try to sell it from here. Eurochief did not break out of this ascending wedge yet, and as I said last Sunday, for a longer term trade scenario to the downside, we want to see a break of this level here, a break of this candle, and I did say also that this candle gonna be the mother of this range, and as you see, we're still trading inside this day. On shorter time frame, you see that we did now break this possible minor support and the monthly pivot point. We are having a possible retest now, so there is at least a short term possibility to try to sell back down toward the monthly S1 inside this range, but it is not the best level since the top of the range is up here, as you see, and I like to sell a little bit higher. But intraday, trading the R1 area would be a good sell level, but I'm not sure if we're gonna reach that today. But it is intraday could be a possible interesting level to look at. Euro-JAPY did not reach the top of the range where I was looking for a possible sell, but traded down again, reaching this minor possible support here, retesting the monthly pivot point. We do have some rejection, so still a level to watch. I don't really like it, since we do have sideways market. We do have the price trading in the middle of this bigger range, and even we have another smaller range. If we look at this one here, we are even in the middle of that. That's why I'm not so interested in this pair right now. Could go either way, especially with the news today. Euro sterling was looking for these scenarios today, a possible retest of the monthly pivot point and a bounce down, or if we got another retest to this very important structure where we did have this possible fake out. These are the level I'm looking at. Here we have the resistance, at least short term, and the support back down here. Right now trading inside the range, in the middle of that, and RSI also in the middle, not oversold or overbought, still not interesting. EURUSD looking for a buy at the daily S1 and the this important support at 1.1710. This for me is a good and important support. Let's go to the daily to look why. And yeah, any retest toward this area down here today would be for me a good level to try to take a buy. Possibly having a limit order at S1 could be a try for me to, because once again I'm expecting that the hike is priced in and that we may see a possible bounce, at least a short-term bounce to the upside. Sterling Aussie at the bottom of this channel, and this neckline may act as support. Also the monthly pivot point on the 4-hour, we did reach the oversold and went back inside. We do have this already possible morning star formation formed in here. Yeah, it is a possible buy scenario from this area if we see more bullish evidence. Could be a possible buy level toward retest of these highs. There is a possibility for that, but as I said earlier this week, guys, sterling, it's all about the Brexit talk, so you have to really keep watching that. But technically it is a good level for at least a short-term buy down here. For sterling JAPY, as you see, we did a retest of the top of the channel and got rejected. Now we are in no man's land, even in this minor range here. So a possible buy level would be back down here at the monthly pivot point or retest of these lows. That would be a good level. Otherwise we may keep try selling the highs, the top of the channel. Yeah, for this week I'm not sure that we do reach this low to buy it, but these lows here could be interesting and possible bounce level. Sterling USD did reach my pre-marked level as a possible support, and once again we did talk about this level in the Sunday session. We did a short-term break below this area here, but it is not about the line. It is an area we are marking on the chart that we expected that we may see some support at, and so far it seems that support is holding. If you're not in a long, of course it's a bit late to enter now, so I think another retest lower would be a possibility to try to buy these lows once again for today or tomorrow, and expect a possible bounce up from here. Again, it is a very important level, but once again we do have a lower high now. This is actually a lower low. We did break below this low, so be aware of the risk of that. We may do a retest of the monthly pivot point and bounce back down, but still I am very interested at this level personally to try to take a buy in case we did reach that. So lots of volatility later today, so be sure about your exposure and how many trades and pair you have. New Zealand CAD, almost all New Zealand pair are at important monthly pivot points. So the New Zealand CAD, New Zealand JAPY, New Zealand Chief, New Zealand USD, all of them at important level. And I'm expecting a possible short-term bounce at this level. As you see, we reached the monthly R1. We are trading right now just below the daily R1. We did a retest and we start having some rejections. Still not have a big divergence yet, but it seems to be coming. We was trading above the extreme, and now the RSI heading down. So there is a possibility here for a possible sell. Depends on your bearish evidence, at least short term to the downside, for probably a retest of these levels here, or the monthly pivot point would be a great target. I think long term we may see a continuation of this move to the upside. Now when we did break this trend line, we had a nice bottom here, triple bottom, or possible head and shoulder scenario. Yeah, that was it for this pair. As you see, as I said earlier, all New Zealand are trading at important levels, and New Zealand USD is the same. Both monthly R1, previous resistant level, the neckline here. Yeah, once again, technically we do see a possible short-term bounce back down here before a possible continuation and a reversal. So on the RSI, on this pair, we do have some divergence already. If you look at this high and this high and these highs, we do have bearish divergence on the RSI for this pair. Possible retest and bounce down is possible, but once again we do have some news, so be aware of that. Some very important news, that's why we do have this session. On the other side, if we look on the daily, we see that we have very strong bullish divergence also. So once again, I'm expecting that this may happen also for the longer term, that we may see some reversal on New Zealand pair, but the level of resistance here could give us a short-term trade to the downside, only short-term. USD CAD, 4 days of dojis, nothing happening. Momentum is not here anymore. The bulls could not keep pushing this market. As you see, big indecision, consolidation. It is an important resistant level. Let's not forget that CAD had a great job numbers, and I still think that we may see possible bounce back down now when we are trading at the top of this range, with 3 days of indecision, and today it seems to be another one. After this move, the momentum got faded totally. We do have bearish divergence on the RSI. Yeah, once again, another bounce to R1 or retest of these highs could be a nice level to try to take a sell. If this low got broken, then there is all reason to try to short another retest or sell the rallies toward monthly S1 or even lower on this pair. Yeah. And USD JPY, 2 days of indecision after this move. This structure, this in particularly, this structure still looking bullish. Higher high, higher low. Now we did reach a level where the price went in a consolidation, and that is not something that we do not see. It is very normal that we see this pair and USD Euro USD, that they go like for a consolidation when we do have major news, and we really do have major news today and this week. So we do have this range now ahead of that news, and I think this will keep going today until the news. Looking at the 4-hour chart and the bearish divergence, and looking at gold and Dixie and expecting that gold may bounce from that level and Dixie may respect that resistance, make me think that we may see a break to the downside today on this one, and probably trade lower toward the 112 area. But we did have some movement already, and I think any retest of the top of the range or spike could be a possible level to try to take a sell back down toward at least the bottom of the range intraday today, ahead of the release. But we're gonna have a nice breakout after this consolidation. Yeah, only based on the 4-hour and the divergence, and that we don't have the same momentum anymore, I think that there is a possibility that we see a bounce and break to the downside on USD JPY. And of course, based on intermarket analysis between the Dixie reaching a resistance and that gold giving us this bullish divergence. Yeah, that was it today. A short one, and I hope you do like it. Please, once again, if you like it, do hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel to get notification when I do such videos. And yeah, feel free to share it if you think that someone else needs to see this video. Thanks a lot, and see you on Sunday for sure. Bye bye.